Okay, in this video we're going to go over setting the reference delay for the voice library using a click test in LiveAmp. If you haven't seen the video for connecting LiveAmp to the target already, suggest watching that one first, otherwise we assume you can do that. We have our car set up over here with the head unit in it, and it's a single channel system, single microphone, single reference channel, and we have a cell phone which is Bluetooth connected to the head unit awaiting a call, which I will make now. So I dial into the car and you can see we get level meters in LiveAmp as soon as the ringing starts, and we'll have the call picked up.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And how is the volume in the car?
Comfortable volume.
Great. Okay, so I can put the phone down. And basically all we need the phone for is to call into the car and get the audio flowing in LiveAmp, and then we can kind of just leave it to the side for now. So we want to go into LiveAmp, into the voice library, library setup tab, and you can see on my system all of my switches are currently off. Your system might look a little bit different the first time you connect. You might have some switches on. That's fine. For this demonstration, the only three that we actually need to have on are the diagnostic switch, which lets me run the click test, and the echo cancellation switch, AEC, and residual echo cancellation. So they turn yellow because the library needs to be reinitialized, so we do that now. And they turn green to show us that they have been turned on, which is great. So let's go over to the mic config tab. We have, like I said, a single channel system, so we want only one microphone, input microphone. Maximum reference delay. Here we actually want to set this to about 100. This just gives us enough room in memory to set the reference delay, which is the value that we actually care about in the click test. So for now, let's set this to 100 and reinitialize. And you can see the red box goes away to show us that the value has taken. Great, so we want to come over to channel latency test, and the latency type, we want mic in, channel in mic 0, receive out 0. Those are the only choices that we have with our audio setup on the head unit. And we'll start the microphone click test, and I'll switch over to the car camera so we can listen to what's happening inside the car. Okay, so we got our latency click test result back, and it looks like we have this one pink box here. If I hover, it will give me a point about this. Basically, a cross correlation of 700 or better or higher is what we want to see. That basically means that the clicks that were playing out in the car were coming back into the microphone, and the amplitude was not quite as high as what was being played out. So 1000 is a perfect cross correlation. So we're a little low there. But the latency estimate, this is the value we care about. This is 22. Latency spread is 0. That is a perfect value for latency spread. If we have a large latency spread, we actually have a problem with the audio system where the clicks are coming back at different intervals than they're being played out at. And that suggests drift in the system, which is a big problem for echo cancellation. It would be, you would need to deal with that. But for now, this is looking pretty good. We'd like to get this cross correlation a bit higher, so I'm going to get on my phone here and go into the car. So our cross correlation is a little bit low. Can we turn the volume up in the car for playback?
Okay, sure. Just turn this up.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How is that volume now?
Yeah, definitely a little louder, but still comfortable.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so the volume has been turned up in the car. Let's run the click test again. Okay, so this one came back, no red boxes. The latency estimate is exactly the same, 22 milliseconds. That's great. Latency spread is 0, perfect. And our cross correlation is 902, which is wonderful, very close to 1000. So that's kind of a perfect result for a click test. Now, let's go over one more click test now where we kind of see the worst case scenario, maybe where we unplug the microphone in the car, so the clicks are playing out, but nothing is coming back. So let's do that click test now. I'll get on my phone again here to call into the car. And so can you please unplug the hands-free microphone from the head unit?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and we are unplugged now. Thank you. And I'm going to run the click test one more time with the microphone unplugged. Okay, so we see here our latency estimate is way off of the other two that we had. Our latency spread is 107. We don't want to have anything greater than 2 milliseconds here. So 107 is a giant, massive red flag that something is wrong. And our cross correlation is minus 25. So we know this is a terrible click test result. And that's the type of click test result you're going to see if there is really a disruption in the system where either the clicks are not playing out the speakers at all, or they're not getting into the microphone and getting back to the voice library at all. So we're going to ignore that one. We're going to select this one with our mouse, and we're going to apply this estimate to the reference delay. And you'll see immediately it pops into this window here. And now the reference delay has been set for the echo canceller. You want to run this click test multiple times on a system, and multiple times during a given phone call, multiple times over multiple phone calls even. And as long as you're seeing that the latency estimate is remaining somewhat the same, sometimes this will drift a little bit between calls, but it should never drift during a call. That's a big sign that there's a problem. Latency spread really should be 0, less than 2 for sure. And cross correlation obviously should be close to 1000. But if you do see a latency estimate that changes between calls by a few milliseconds, sometimes you do see this. The thing to do is you want to select the latency estimate which is the lowest that you ever see. So if you ran 4 or 5 different phone calls and you were doing 6 click tests per phone call, you would look in this column and you'd find the latency estimate that was the lowest one, and you'd apply that to your reference delay. So that's what we've done now. If you want to check that it is working, then one way you can do it is you can pick up your phone and you can talk into the car. And again, you don't need somebody on inside the car to do this. You can actually just call the car as long as the call is active. And you would come over here and change your reference delay to something much greater than the actual reference delay. And if you do that, you will hear in your phone call your voice coming back. The echo canceller just fails. It's looking in the wrong spot for the echo, and you will hear your voice come back in its entirety. If I go back here and set this back down to 22, and the echo goes away completely. So if we've set our AEC switch and REC switch on in our library setup tab like we have at the beginning, when we set the reference delay, our echo should go away completely from the phone call. And that's all there is to it.